Welcome to Tanger Mouse Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp.
And I'm Melissa Delp.
Today we're looking at a prototype of Lockup, a role-player tale. Lockup is a 1 to 5 player worker placement area influence game set in the world of Roleplayer. It's designed by Stan Kordonsky and being published by Thunderworks Games. It'll be on Kickstarter this September.
Now, even though it's called Lockup, a role-player tale, this is a completely separate game from Roleplayer. It takes place after the Dragul invasion, and you control a group of minions who are locked up in the king's dungeon. Throughout the game, you'll have to increase your strength, collect valuable resources, and even recruit goons to gain reputation. The player with the most reputation after 6 rounds wins.
Let's look at the prototype components. There's a game board, holding cells, crew boards, a guard board, a round marker and reputation markers, lots of resources, power markers, suspicion markers, lots of cards, and tokens.
At the beginning of the game, each player receives their player board, crew, and a holding cell that hides your crew from other players. Your crew consists of a lookout, members with strength from 2 to 5, and an enforcer, whose strength is determined by the number of power markers on your board.
The game is played over 6 rounds with 3 phases in each. There's a roll call, a lights out, and then a patrol phase.
During the roll call phase, players take turns placing their crew tokens on a single location at a time. You're trying to get resources, power, items, or even hire goons in the chow hall. You can place as many tokens as you want on a location, but once you place them, you cannot add more of yours to that location on a later turn. You're allowed to place 2 of your tokens face down, which adds some mystery to the game. Each location will reward players differently.
That happens during the lights out phase. For instance, in the sewers, the player with the greatest strength gets 3 scrap, second greatest 2 scrap, and everyone else just gets 1. But in the infirmary, players with the greatest and the least strength gain potion. Everyone else goes to the library instead. In the smithy, the top 2 get iron, but all others are moved to the library. You can also try and gain power in the exercise yard, or lose suspicion in the guard room. As a prisoner, you really don't want the guards to be suspicious of you.
You gain suspicion when you have the greatest strength at a location with a suspicion marker. But if you have a lookout in that spot, the suspicion marker goes to the next person.
You can recruit goons in the chow hall. They can give immediate rewards and provide reputation during endgame scoring. Sets of dwarves or ratmen can be lots of points.
When you go to the cell block, you can build items using the resources you've gathered. These can give you lots of points, and often have rewards, and symbols that can help you achieve goal cards.
There are 3 types of common goal cards. Instant goals. The first player to meet these requirements gets the card. No other player can get it. Award goals go to the player with the most of a certain thing at that moment, so they can change hands throughout the game. And then there's the end game goals that give players points based on the number of required resources.
After all the locations have been resolved, 1 through 9, you move to the patrol phase. Players check their resource limit, and then new items and goons are placed on the board. If there aren't enough suspicion markers to put on the board, a raid occurs. The player with the fewest suspicion markers gets 8 reputation, and the second fewest gets 4.
After 6 rounds, the game's over, and whoever has the highest reputation wins. Now, I can't make up my mind if I like the roll call phase more, where you're placing out your crew and trying to go to the right spots, or the lights out phase more, where you actually are going from location to location to see what the different strengths of those crew were, because some of those crew were face down.
I know. For me, sometimes it was difficult deciding which tokens to put face down. Am I trying to bluff that I have a high strength here when I don't? Do I hide my lookout? It can really make a big difference.
You have to decide each round, should I spread out my crew to try and get lots of stuff, or just go to a few spots to guarantee it?
Yeah, there was this one time that I put out one crew member somewhere, and then Kevin comes along and he dumps 3 of them onto that spot, and he basically shut me out of that location. The good news is that crew member was able to go to the library to draw a tome card, and those are like action cards you can use during the game. So there was some consolation for not being able to take the action I really wanted to take.
Now, the illustrations on the game board bring this game to life as you move your crew around the board from round to round. Now, this is all prototype, but if I had to give one critique, I think I would like to have a full body crew instead of just the head for the crew members.
I thought the game was easy to learn. The rulebook was clear and understandable. It was laid out well. As far as player interaction goes, that might depend on your group and how aggressive they are and competing for the same locations, items, and goons.
You can definitely bluff and play some mind games with your crew placement.
I was a little weak in that area, but I really did enjoy trying to collect the right items and goons to combo them for endgame scoring.
If you're looking for a new game in the world of a role player, or you like area influence type games, then check out Lockup by Thunderworks Games, coming to Kickstarter this September.
Resources and do stuff.
You're gonna do lots of stuff, like get strength.
Strength.
Strength. Ready?